Hello everyone and welcome to the fourth movie flashback. I am happy to have you here today. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Click the subscribe button below for future notifications and updates. Click the like button and share this content with other movie fans. So this year we are celebrating the 60th anniversary of Cleopatra. It is the historical drama film starring Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton, and Rex Harrison. It was directed by Joseph Mankiewicz, and it was produced by Walter Wagner and 20th Century Fox. It was based on the life and times of Cleopatra by Carlo Maria Franzero, and the running time is 4 hours, 11 minutes. So doing the research for this flashback was an eye-opening experience. The behind the movie story is just as dramatic as the film itself, to the point where I was just blown away, saying to myself, this is bananas. Whoa. So, okay, here we go. The movie tells the struggles of Cleopatra, the Queen of Egypt, to resist the imperial ambitions of Rome. At first, she falls in love with Julius Caesar, played by Rex Harrison, and after his assassination, she falls in love with Mark Antony, played by Richard Burton. Producer Walter Wagner wanted to make a movie about Cleopatra since he was an undergrad at Dartmouth College. And when he saw Elizabeth Taylor in a film back in 1951, he thought he found the actress to play Cleopatra on screen. However, around that time, he found out that his wife was having an affair with an agent in Hollywood, and he went after the guy and shot him. The other man survived. Wagner pled temporary insanity in the courts, and he served 4 months in jail. That put a hold on the project until 1958. Then his production company partnered with 20th Century Fox to produce the film. Wagner still wanted Elizabeth Taylor to play Cleopatra. The studio wanted to hire a cheaper actress. Ruben Mamoulian was hired as the director, and while the script went through numerous revisions from 4 different screenwriters, Mamoulian suggested at casting that he wanted Dorothy Dandridge, the same Black American actress who played Carmen Jones, to get the part of Cleopatra. However, when they had a conversation about it, Dandridge said to him, and I quote, "You won't have the guts to go through with this. They will talk you out of it." In the end, Wagner got what he wanted. Elizabeth Taylor signed on to play Cleopatra for a record-setting salary of $1 million plus 10% of the box office gross. She became the first actress in Hollywood to get a $1 million deal. And I'm thinking to myself, we came so close for Dorothy Dandridge to play Cleopatra. Imagine if she got the chance to play Cleopatra. We'll never know. Principal photography began at Pinewood Studios on September 28, 1960, but Taylor's health problems delayed further filming. Production was suspended in November after it had gone over budget with only 10 minutes of usable footage. The studio blamed Mamoulian for the production disaster, so he resigned. Mamoulian was replaced by Joseph Mankiewicz, who directed Elizabeth Taylor in Suddenly Last Summer back in 1959. Mankiewicz did not like the script, so he signed on if he could rewrite the script from scratch. Eventually, a few screenwriters worked on this new script with him, and production was relocated to Cinecittà in Rome, where filming resumed on September 25, 1961, without a finishing shooting script. At the start of production, they had 132 pages completed and needed another 195 pages. During production, a personal scandal made worldwide headlines when it was reported that Liz Taylor and Richard Burton had an affair while they were both married to other people. Filming wrapped up on July 28, 1962, and further reshoots were made from February to March 1963. Then there was the drama during post-production. Oh dear. The editorial team started with 120 miles of footage. Mankiewicz and his editor, Dorothy Spencer, had a rough cut of 5 hours, 20 minutes. Mankiewicz showed 20th Century Fox producers a cut that was 4 hours, 30 minutes. However, they did not approve due to creative differences. Mankiewicz wanted to make a two-part film. The first named Caesar and Cleopatra, the second part named Antony and Cleopatra. The studio wanted one film because they thought anyone interested in the Liz Taylor Richard Burton affair wasn't going to watch two films. Then they asked Mankiewicz to cut the film down to 3 hours, 15 minutes. Disagreements continued because the studio blamed Mankiewicz for the bloated budget of the movie. That led to the studio dismissing Mankiewicz from the project in the middle of editing. All of this drama ended up in the press. Taylor and Burton expressed outrage over the treatment of Mankiewicz, but eventually he was able to finish editing in March 1963. With the estimated production costs totaling $31 million, the film became the most expensive film ever made up until that point, and nearly bankrupted the studio. The cost of distribution, print, and advertising expenses added a further $13 million to 20th Century Fox's budget. Cleopatra premiered at the Rivoli Theater in New York City on June 12, 1963. It received a generally favorable response from the film critics, and it became the highest-grossing film of 1963, earning box office receipts of approximately $58 million in the US and Canada. And it became one of the highest-grossing films of the decade worldwide. However, the film initially lost money because of its exorbitant production and marketing costs, totaling $44 million, which in today's dollars is $421 million. It received 9 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, and it won 4 out of those 9 for Best Art Direction, Best Cinematography, Best Visual Effects, and Best Costume Design. When Wagner was asked about Mankiewicz's modern concept of the film, he said, and I quote, "Mark Antony lived always in the shadow of Caesar. Mankiewicz sees Antony as a bad replica of Caesar, following desperately in Caesar's footsteps, but rattling loosely in battlefield, in the Senate, and in Caesar's bed. He sees this inability to match Caesar as the cause of Antony's excessive drinking and eccentric behavior. Antony's conquest of Cleopatra is his only triumph over Caesar. Then he realizes he has not conquered, but has been conquered, and this leads to his ultimate self-destruction." End quote. So, I want to propose a toast to everyone involved in making this film. Even though it was a challenge to get this film made, thankfully it has stood the test of time, and it is possible we will never see a movie like this get made ever again, simply because it's just too damn expensive. Cheers! I had to add booze to this because this story is just packed with drama. And I whipped out the good booze, guys, okay? I have the White Walker by Johnny Walker, okay? Game of Thrones limited edition of blended scotch. So I got the good stuff today because of this story. Lord have mercy. Okay, so that is all for today, my friends, and I will see you next time with another movie review. Until then, don't drink too much, stay safe out there, and have fun at the movies.
You take so much of me.